Whiplash has been Cinekyd's most successful motion picture to date, winner of the Gold Venus Medallion at the Houston International Film Festival. It is the story of a young man learning about himself and the harsh realities of the western frontier as he seeks revenge for his father's brutal murder. The murder was committed by El Diablo, a mysteriously evil figure maniacally stalking a small, peaceful town to seek his own form of vengeance. The two determined antagonists are on a collision course, leading to a showdown in the hills just outside of town. Young Toby Reed musters all of his strength and courage to defeat his opponent. Toby, his brother Paul, and their new friends Emily and Billy return to the town, which finds peace once again. 2 years have passed. Billy and Paul have grown, Toby and Emily have grown, and the town has forgotten those bitter events. They have pushed El Diablo out of their minds for good, until the mysterious visit behind the cantina, until the ruthless slaughter of a group of innocent settlers, until El Diablo himself returns to find Toby Reed and carry out an act of twisted vengeance he has plotted for 2 years. Whiplash 2 continues the saga and builds to a bigger, more desperate climax, pitting Toby Reed against El Diablo once more. This time, Toby Reed will be sure. The makers of Whiplash 2 are students of Cinekyd's summer filmmaking workshops. Aged 11 to 18, these young movie makers approach the mammoth task of producing a full-length sound motion picture by dividing into production crews, teams that concentrate on one or two specific areas of filmmaking. Those who appear in the film as talent also spend part of their time in this role as well. The production scheme goes something like this. The scenes for the day are rehearsed well ahead of time. Lines, blocking, which is the physical action of the scene, and reactions are fleshed out in rehearsals with the director. Meanwhile, on set or on site, the sets and props crew is busy building flats and assembling props for several scenes at once. The lights and sound crew gathers to plot lighting for the sets. The electrical plan must be mapped as carefully as the lighting design, to prevent with 100% certainty any circuit overloading. What's the angle of the light? Low angle? Compared to coming through the window? Yeah, it's a mix, because the moon coming through the window would be low angle, but the lamps would be somewhat high. So let's call it medium angle. Alright. Now, would it be diffused or harsh?
Harsh.
Okay, harsh. Candle.
3 of them.
Candle and nothing else, right? Okay. Let's imagine, just as here we imagine that there's a window here. We would imagine that these would be lit, even though they probably won't be. We'll imagine that there's some kind of lamp out here. Okay, and we could probably imagine that there's a chandelier or two in the room.
That's how they lit up the rooms real good, isn't it?
Yeah.
The chandelier.
A couple of these kind of chandeliers.
Chandelier with blown glass.
Again, what's our main light source? Is the sun through the windows. So that's the key, is sun through windows. So where would we set them? What kind of lights would we have for that? Sun through windows and door. Okay. So what do you think?
You said there was a window here, so you can have one or two.
We could do it that way, yeah.
Or through the door.
Okay, so we'd have a couple lights here. Once the set is built and dressed, the lighting crew can then move in. The addition of a homemade lighting grid to the Cinekyd studio in time for the summer's filming makes this job much more practical. In addition, it clears the studio floor of light stands and electrical cables, making it easier to cram the ever-growing crews into the studio. An hour before shooting time, the talent reports to the makeup and costume room. Here, the crew of 8 or 9 young people must make up an entire scene's worth of actors, sometimes as many as 50 or 60 young people. Some of the makeup effects are quite complex, as in the case of the tattooed snake on the chest of actor Paul Salfi. This not only took time and creativity to produce the first time, but since Paul's character was important, it had to be repeated many times under many circumstances. As the last of the talent emerges costumed and made up, the camera crew is on set or on site, loading batteries and film into the cameras, assembling tripods, and gathering the various tools of their craft. And their work has just begun. After a master take a shot, a long shot showing all of the action, the camera operators move in for closer, more detailed angles. It is a lot of fast work, while at the same time keeping a careful eye on the delicate gear, and the entire production crew's hard work is dependent upon the young cinematographer's success or failure. The fun for the more creative of these cameramen is capturing through their lenses some of the special effects that go into creating the illusion that is film. Here, cinematographer Steve King lines up a special effects shot created by the graphics and miniatures department. It is called a glass mat, and it helps create the illusion that the audience has been transported from Willow Grove to the open West. Graphics and miniatures is headed by staff member Becky Bride.
Do you enjoy what you do here at Cinekyd?
Do I enjoy it?
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
Very much so? What are you working on right now for the movie Whiplash 2?
Right now we're working on some paper mats or glass mats where we're going to actually use photographs for. And at this moment I'm trying to figure out what section of this particular mat Mindy's going to cut out.
Miss